The Biden administration announced it will not release $3.5 billion in frozen Afghanistan aid funds.
Officials are citing fears the money will end up in the hands of terrorists. They say they discovered al-Qaeda's leader was allegedly living in Kabul under the protection of the Taliban. This is the same leader the Taliban reportedly helped the U.S. military find and kill in a drone strike.
For more, let's bring in former U.S. Ambassador to Iraq and Turkey, James Jeffrey. He's also the chair of the Wilson Center's Middle East program and acting U.S. Special Envoy to the Global Coalition to Defeat ISIS. Welcome, Ambassador Jeffrey. It's great to have you with us. So we did hear that State Department spokesman Ned Price told the New York Times that the administration wants to find ways to use this money to help Afghans without going through the Taliban. What options are there? What could the administration possibly be looking at? Is there a way to safeguard these funds if the Taliban can get their hands on them?
First, thank you for having me on. The administration first tried to negotiate with the Taliban and with the Afghan central bank, who actually owns the money in legal terms, on a way to do this without letting terrorists get a hold of the money. It was not successful. So now the administration is faced with a humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan of its 40 million people, and it's sitting on $3.5 billion that could help in that crisis. The problem is, first of all, the administration could provide that aid, for example, to the United Nations. We've just given $150 million to the United Nations for Afghanistan. But the problem is, legally, that money is the possession of the Central Bank of Afghanistan, even though we control it, not they. So it raises questions, and frankly, it raises even bigger questions about the $300 billion we and the Europeans have seized of Russian money. We are very reluctant to just spend that money, even if it's on Afghanistan help, because of the legal complications. But the administration is trying to find a way forward now.
Well, what are the geopolitical implications if the U.S. were to hand $3.5 billion in funds to the Taliban? And how does the relationship between the two move forward if the U.S. continues to withhold the money?
First of all, the strict accountability requirements of providing assistance for good purposes, say fighting starvation, helping rural communities, is almost impossible to ascertain in Afghanistan right now because we do not have people on the ground. The Taliban control everything. Secondly, we now know that in contrast to the Taliban commitments in our agreement with them, the Doha Agreement of 2020, they are working closely with the al-Qaeda elements, and some of that money can slip to them. Finally, there is a political issue. There's no way, as long as we know that the Taliban is cooperating with the people who brought about 9/11, that we can provide money that might flow into their coffers. Right. So thus, the administration is stuck politically.
Right. And Ambassador, though, what does the future of Afghanistan look like, though, without this money, or at least without the aid that this money can provide? Because I'm curious whether, you know, this money can't be turned into items such as food that could be directly delivered to the people in need.
That would require either the United States to take the decision it doesn't care about the legal status of the money, but rather it wants to deal with the humanitarian crisis. And there are ways, particularly through the UN, to get humanitarian aid into Afghanistan. As I said, we're supporting it. The other way would be to get the Taliban and their central bank to agree to allow us to pass that money to third parties who would work with the people of Afghanistan to help their law. And that is one way forward that would get around the legal complications and get around providing money that the Taliban and al-Qaeda could use for terrorist support. I think that the administration will give that a hard look.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll continue to watch it. Ambassador James Jeffrey. Ambassador, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.